What is up, and I welcome each and every one of you back to a brand new video. I hope you're all having fantastic days. And as always, before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Did I tell you guys to subscribe? Because that is something you should definitely be doing. We are back at it again, this time looking at the top 14, yes, 14 leaders released during the New Frontier Pass. The New Frontier Pass brought us a lot of content for Civ 6 or Civilization 6, and despite the fact that in the April update, a lot of the original Civs got some touch-ups, nothing beats the absolute power creep that happened during the New Frontier Pass. Like, Rise and Fall, Civ 6 Rise and Fall, leaders were maybe a little bit stronger, but like, comparable to the OG vanilla Civ 6. Gathering Storm was a little bit stronger Civs, and then New Frontier Pass just shot up. Everybody, like, Grand Columbia, you got Hammurabi literally flexing on everybody. It's just absolutely disgusting, revolting, and quite honestly, I have no idea why the developers have not been arrested for doing something so revolting. But in all seriousness, we are going to be looking at every single leader in the New Frontier Pass ranked, and without further ado, let's get into the disclaimer. Now, before we get started with this ranking, let me make one thing very clear. Every Civ in the New Frontier Pass is good. Every leader released, except for one. And by good, I mean very, very good. Every single Civ from numbers 13 to number 1, if I'm doing the math right, is absolutely, it's very good at the very least. But there's one Civ at the end who is bad. So if you, let me know down below in the comments if you guys, which Civs you think were too high, which ones you think were too low, maybe some strategies I'm not thinking about. Obviously, it's going to be like continents and Pangea map mostly. It's going to be made for Deity difficulty, I want to say, but at the end of the day, if it's made for Deity, it's made for all the other, difficulties, right? If these guys are good on Deity, they're going to be good on all the other difficulties. If they're bad on Deity, they can still be good on the lower difficulties, but not as good as the other Civs. So take this not just as a Deity guide, but just as an all-around guide, although if you are going to go to Deity and want to win your first game or something, definitely go towards the first or second Civ on the list. Without further ado, let's get started with number 14. Looking through my notes, it does seem I have made a mistake. There are 13 Civs, not 14, but without further ado, let's get started with number 13, the worst Civ, the only one who I think is bad, Kublai Khan of China. What is going on here? Oh. Well, let's just remove this real quick. Kublai Khan of China is absolutely atrocious. None of his abilities work together. The extra economic policy slot is probably the best thing in his ability slot, but receiving a Eureka and Inspiration when establishing a trading post only works depending on how many Civs are in the game. If it was one per city, it would be nice, but it is once per Civ. So in a normal map, you're only going to be getting like 6, maybe 5 to 7 really, Eurekas and Inspirations, which isn't anything too crazy in the grand scheme of things. Dynastic Cycle is absolutely useless on Kublai Khan. He has no way of building wonders fast, not even like an Egyptian, like 15% production towards wonders next to a river. So Dynastic Cycle is pretty much just slashed. You might get 1, maybe 2 wonders. The extra points towards Eurekas and Inspirations is kind of nice, I guess. It's probably another good thing about him. The Crouching Tiger is just a garbage. It's like, it's garbage. When I say Crouching Tiger, it's as if there's shit in my mouth or something. Just an absolutely god-awful unit. 1 range. Does not matter about the high combat strength. The fact that it is a 1 ranged unit means it's going to get decimated by cavalry and by swordsmen and musketmen for that matter. The Great Wall is solid for a culture victory, but if that's really the best thing you have towards a culture victory, don't go for a culture victory, right? The Great Wall is nice, but it shouldn't be what you should base your game around. I think the reason they had Kublai Khan China in this game in general is because they had Kublai Khan Mongolia, and they wanted to sort of make a dual leader type of thing, and we're working more towards the, lore, more than anything, the lore of history or something, rather than actually getting a really strong Civ. I don't work at Firaxis, so I could definitely be 100% wrong, but Kublai Khan, in my opinion, number 13, really bad Civ, the only really bad Civ in the New Frontier Pass. Let's get into the next Civ, which is still bad compared to the New Frontier Pass Civs, but is really good in general. We are looking at Rough Rider Teddy. Now, I'm going to put both Teddys on this list because they both got some significant changes, especially during the April update. But Teddy Roosevelt, he's got Roosevelt Corollary. That's pretty much his original ability, 5 combat strength. And now when you send a trade route to a city-states, envoys sent to city-states with a trade route count as 2 envoys. It's nice, I guess, but you have to have a trade route to that city-state. You might not have a trade route, despite the fact maybe Geneva's across the map and you can't send a trade route or something crazy like that. The P-51 Mustang is solid, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have any abilities too good, really. Combat strength against fighter aircraft. Not many people build fighter aircraft. Not many civs build planes in general. Maybe in multiplayer you'd have a use for it, but when it comes to just fighter aircraft, when it comes to planes in general, they come a little too late. Like, if you're waiting till planes for domination, you're probably best off just going for a science victory, and if you're already like almost winning a domination victory, you probably didn't need planes to win the game in general. The Rough Rider, culture earned from kills on your continent is decent. It's just a solid, it's below average in my opinion. It's one of the vanilla units, didn't get really too changed. So it's below average. I guess you could still make it work. Film Studio is very, very nice, although this Rough Rider Teddy does not have any bonuses towards a culture victory. Aside from that, Founding Fathers is probably his best ability. Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Rider is. Getting diplomatic favor from wildcard slots could potentially push you towards a diplomatic victory. Yeah, he's a good civ for sure, don't get me wrong about that, but when it comes to the absolute power creep that happened in the new Frontier Pass, he's really at number 12. Let's go to number 11 now. We are looking at Catherine Magnificence. Yes, now Catherine is a very good civ just because of one ability. Like, looking at her abilities right now, let's go back to this screen. Grand Tour, decent. It's like above average. Garde Imperiale is good now, especially now that it was replaced by the line infantry. It replaces the line infantry, but it's only towards your, like, it only gets bonuses towards your continent. You might have already like taken out your continent by this point. Chateau is really solid, like all of these. Grand Tour is like maybe 7 out of 10. Garde Imperiale 6 out of 10. Chateau 7 out of 10. Again, even though she's at number 11 out of 13, she's still a very good civ. But Catherine's Magnificences, I don't even know if that second part is a word. Improved luxuries adjacent to theaters, crosses, chateaus receive 2 culture. Pretty nice, maybe 6.5 out of 10. Court festivals are insane. Do not sleep on these court festivals. If you are caught napping during a court festival, I will, no joke at all, piss in your mouth, because it's just disrespectful at that point. Court festivals, I remember a game I had. Go look through my playlist. Go find the Magnificence game, the Catherine Magnificence game I had. It's one of my older videos, maybe even in like 2020. I was like maybe like 100 out of like 400 tourists towards a tourism victory. I did like one court festival with all the luxury. I got like every single luxury I could. I got like 10,000 tourism with one court festival. 10,000 tourism with one court festival. I had like 3 or 4 of those and I won a culture victory. Catherine is insane once you get to court festivals. Court festivals are 15 out of 10, and she is, in my opinion, the best culture civ in the entire game, no doubt about it. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and play Catherine, get the court festivals, and then get as many luxuries as you can, and watch your tourism output just skyrocket. Apparently, Catherine's Magnificences does attract the masses, just like the milkshakes in the barn. But yeah, that's why I have Catherine at number 11. A very good civ, except for the fact that the new Frontier Pass is filled with very good civs, so I did have to put her at number 11, with the best culture civ in the game, in my opinion. We are now looking at number 10, Kublai Khan of Mongolia. Now, Genghis Khan's a lot better than Kublai Khan, but Kublai Khan can still hold his own. Establishing a trading post in the city for a first time will allow you to declare war on somebody faster, I guess. You will get the diplomatic visibility bonus from Ortu a little bit better, but I like Genghis's getting combat bonus towards horse units a little bit better, in my honest opinion. Again, he's still a very solid civ. The Keshig is maybe an average unique unit, above average at best. It is a crossbowman cavalry unit, so that's good for it. Problem is, it doesn't have anything other than being like a super fast crossbowman. You got the Ordu, which is nice. All in all, it's really Mongolia's bonuses carrying Kublai Khan. The extra economic policy slot and the trading post and other civ cities work really well on Mongolia, much more than it does on China. But again, he's still very good. Do not get me wrong on that. But it is mostly because Mongolia is very good rather than Kublai Khan being very, very good. And yeah, I have him at number 10, yes. And that's pretty much all I want to say about him. Let's get into number 9. We are looking at Lady Thick Thighs. I mean 6 guys of the, what is it again? It's the Mayan Empire. Now, She used to be bad before because like it took so long to get a civ up and running because you had to settle the city. It didn't have any bonus housing because you didn't get bonus housing from any sort of water tiles. You had to build a builder always, and that opened you up to sort of getting attacked from all sides, even though you have a really good archery unique unit and really good combat strength when defending within your within your capital. Now that you get a free builder per city other than your capital when founding it within 6 tiles of your cities, it's really good now. It is really good now. You're past the early game. You don't have to hard build a builder. If you combine this with the government plaza and the, I forget what it's called, the one that gives you a free builder and bonus production towards settlers, you are looking at 2 free builders, which could give you 6 potential housing. So she is really, really good now. The problem is you have to be within 6 tiles of your capital. Settling farther away than 6 tiles, even by 1 tile, is negative 15% to all yields. And, you know, if you have, like, your capital, like, all the cities within your capital maxed out, it's fine to go ahead and get more cities because at the end of the day, it is more yields. It's not like Civ 5, where you, every city you settled, like, made culture and tech costs more expensive. But the problem is, on Deity and Immortal especially, AI is going to forward settle you, and then you'd have to go for a domination. You'd have to go take them out. But at that point, how are you going to take them out? You're going to use the Holche. It's not really a good... Like, the Archer, it's good, but, like, if they get walls, then you're going to have to detour to Swordsmen and Battering Rams, and you're going to skip the Observatory and all your plantations and all the worker techs you need. So at the end of the day, it is just a headache sometimes when they end up forward settling you, and that's another city you can't place. You're not going to get, like, the perfect hexical sphere that you would want normally on Lady Thick Thighs, I mean 6 guy. But yeah, the Observatory is really nice. Mayab is really nice, giving production gold now to each farm. And getting amenities for luxuries adjacent to the city center is also very good. And the Holche could get a potential 10 combat strength when attacking even a slightly damaged unit within your 6 tiles within your capital. So I have no qualms about the Holche. All in all, she is at number 9, a very good civ right now, especially thanks to the builder changes. And yeah, if you're going for a science victory, she is the number 2 civ. Number 3 civ. Actually, Germany and Korea are both a little bit better towards a science victory. Now let's get going towards number 8. We got Teddy Roosevelt, but Bull Moose Teddy Roosevelt. Yes, he has a suit now. He combed his hair. He took off the hat. Now he is looking like an actual world leader. And his abilities definitely back that up for sure. Antiquities and Parks is really nice no matter whether you're going for a science or culture victory. Breathtaking tiles adjacent to a natural wonder or a mountain give you science. Breathtaking tiles adjacent to a wonder or woods give you culture. I would more lean in towards culture when we're talking about Teddy because he also gets extra appeal in cities with a national park, which would lead you to get more national park, which would lead to more appeals, which would lead to more national parks, which gives you just more science and culture in general. So as Teddy, you don't want to chop out woods. You do want to make lumber mills out of them. You do want to make wonders as well. Earlier on, you're not going to get this bonus too much, in my opinion. Maybe if you go for preserves. I still don't know exactly how preserves work. I'm going to definitely try to do a preserve game as Teddy Roosevelt Bull Moose for sure, after I find out how they work. But you definitely want to go for a culture victory. Get wonders, get woods. You're going to get a lot of culture that way. Once you get national parks, spam them. Just spam them. Founding Fathers is really nice, giving you more diplomatic favor and an extra wildcard policy slot. Never hurt, especially considering diplomatic slots really aren't incredible most of the time. B-51 Mustang, like I said, for Rough Rider, is solid, but nothing too crazy. Oops. And then you got the Film Studio, which gives you a butt ton of tourism. Absolutely incredible. Definitely works on Bull Moose Teddy more than Rough Rider Teddy. That is why I have Teddy at number 8, a very good culture and potentially science civ. Number 7, we have Batrio of Vietnam. Yes, Batrio, drive out the aggressors. The best civ, in my opinion, to go if you're like moving up in difficulties and are not looking to win but are looking to sort of hold your own is Vietnam, because the 5 combat strength and fighting in rainforest, marsh, or wood tiles and the movement speed is great. The fact that it is doubled when it is within your territory means 1 or 2 archers is all you need to drive out the aggressors, as the ability says in Vietnam. 9 Dragon River Delta does take a little of finagling to make work, but you do get extra yields from settling on top of rough terrain tiles like woods, rainforests, and marshes. The problem is, though, you can only build districts on those tiles, specialty districts, not like aqueducts or stuff like that. You got the Voice Shan, a really good crossbowman unit, in my opinion. They can move and attack, and they can move after attacking. So you can move in, attack, and move out if you have enough movement speed, maybe with a great general or something. They have stronger defense, more expensive, and a greater sight. Unlike the Mariano Chariot Archers, these guys are actually worth the extra cost, especially if you're upgrading into them from archers. So Vietnam is definitely a lot, the crossbowmen are a lot better than the Mariano Chariot Archers. And then finally the Thon, getting 2 culture for each adjacent district, and after flight is researched, you get tourism equal to the culture, and you also, as Vietnam, able to plant woods with the medieval fair civic, and the Thon is not a specialty district like the original encampment, so you can put them on tiles without marsh, forest, and rainforests. So, all in all, the Thon in general does not provide great people points, so great generals are going to be hard to come by early on. But all in all, if you're good at this game, you could definitely make Vietnam work. You know, surround your Thons with districts, and then, like, just pack them all together, kind of you would with Japan, and then once flight comes in, just get a massive amount of tourism. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Vietnam, who is at number 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Looking at number 6, though, we got the best hat in the game. You already know who I'm talking about. Menelik II. This man is an absolute legend. He has been getting a lot of really a case of no press because nobody talks about him for some reason. This guy's ridiculous, though. Science and culture, 15% of your faith goes in towards your science and culture. Wow. 4 combat strength when defending on hills. Wow. Axumite Legacy gives trade routes more faith. Improved resources get more faith. And you can purchase archaeological museums and archaeologists with faith. Wow. Romu Cavalry. Its medieval era replaces the Courser. It is stronger and has greater sight. No movement penalty when moving into hills. It's much more of a defensive unit in my opinion. Using these guys to defend on hill tiles is the best thing you should do. The Rock-Hewn Church is nothing short of extraordinary. Not extraordinary, extraordinary. Extraordinary. I don't know. But the Rock-Hewn Church, the builders can now build Rock-Hewn churches. I don't know when it is unlocked, I forget, but it is unlocked very early on. You get 1 faith. 1 faith for each adjacent mountain and hills tile, which is not hard to make use of, especially with this hill tile spawn bonus, making him spawn near hills and mountains more likely. And you get tourism from faith after researching flight. Oh my god. +1 appeal. Oh my god. Can only be pillaged, never destroyed by natural disasters. Oh my god. Can only be built on hills or volcanic soil, not adjacent to another rock-hewn church. That's fine. Most of the time you are going to be getting a massive amount of 6 to 12 faith when it comes to rock-hewn churches, which will help your Council of Ministers thing get more science and culture, which will allow you to faith buy archaeological museums and archaeologists with faith, which is very, very nice as Ethiopia, for sure, no doubt about it in the slightest. Ethiopia, you get your faith early game, transition it to culture later on in the game, and you are golden. You are going to be going for the easiest culture victory of your life. The only reason he isn't better than Catherine is because Catherine just has 1 super solid nuke, essentially, so that's why Menelik is probably only the 2nd or 3rd best culture victory civ. Now we are going to be looking at the top 5. Let's start off with Basil. I mean, this guy. Look at the beard. Under that beard is the jawline of people who do subscribe to the Civ Lifer. Just absolutely massive. Guarantee his penis is at least 15 inches as well. Spoiler alert, Basil did subscribe to the Civ Lifer in 1056 BCE, which did allow him to become that dominant. Let's get into this seriously. Not even going to try to pronounce his leader ability, because I do feel like the attempt would make all those Byzantium fanboys come at me in the comments, but heavy and light cavalry units do full damage against cities' walls in cities following the same religion as Byzantium, and you get the Tagma unique unit, which does come later than the knight in the culture civic tree rather than the tech tree, although if you focus on culture and faith early on, as you should be doing, you should be getting these guys very early on. They act as a great general, pretty much, giving you 4 combat strength or religious strength to adjacent units within 1 tile, and they also work towards other Tagmas. Taxis is really nice, giving you great profit points to found a religion, and then extra combat strength when you convert a holy site, including your holy site, for the first time. And then you can read the Droman is solid. I don't really build it. The Hippodrome gives you a free heavy cavalry unit whenever you build the Hippodrome, and the arena, and the zoo, and the stadium. So as you can see, as Byzantium, you get heavy cavalry units, no battering rams or catapults needed, convert enemies cities to your religions by killing your unit, their units with your units. I literally kill one of their units and they'll convert to your religion. Not even joking. Check my Byzantium gameplay if you don't believe me. And then destroy their walls in like 2 hits maximum, especially with the Tagmas. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. They are a nice religious domination civ, and I have them at number 5. Number 4, we have the great Zhao the Impaler, Zhao the Conqueror. That guy, the guy with the just pretty damn nice stick he has. I'm not gonna lie. Not genitalia. I'm talking about the actual stick he has. But we got Porta de Circo. You guys can read the abilities if you want. This guy is a massive trade route type of civ. Every civ you meet is one trade route, so on huge maps, you could potentially get 40 to even 50, depending on how many cities you have trade routes. Trade route yields are also like insanely improved, plus 50% to all yields. However, you can only send trade routes internationally towards enemy cities with ports. You got the Now, which isn't really that good on its own. It gets a free promotion and less maintenance, but 2 charges to build the Vittoria, which you can build in enemy cities, which will give you more gold and production when sending trade routes to that city with the Vittoria. And they do stack, by the way. Though they can only be built adjacent to luxury or bonus resources in territory, and they also must be built on the coast adjacent to land and not adjacent to another Victoria. So it has a very specific, probably the most specific, unique improvement requirements for any civ. So that's why they're only at number 4. Otherwise, they'd be at number 2 or 3. On an archipelago map, he's probably number 1, but on a Pangea map, he's probably like down in like the top 30s, in my opinion. But yeah, the navigation school allows you to keep up in science and allows you to build nows much faster, as well as great admiral points along with the great scientist points. All in all, he is number 4. He would be number 1 if we were just talking strictly on archipelago, but we're not. He could get a lot of trade routes, but at the end of the day, if he's like on a Pangea or even a continents map for that matter, he really isn't that good in my opinion. Although the fact that on an archipelago he is just an absolute monster, my god, somebody lock him up, hide the women and children. But yeah, he is at number 4 overall in my opinion. Number 3, we got Ambiorix of the Gauls. No, that's a mistake, sorry. We got Ambiorix of the Gauls. Never mind, it isn't a mistake. Your civs gain culture. Like, you can read through the abilities, and you get culture from building units. Your units get extra combat strength from adjacency. The guy Satai is the Gestapo unit, is pretty solid, replacing the warrior. It's more expensive, and it really only has 20 combat strength, but it does get 5 combat strength against district defenses, allowing you to early rush, and it also gets 10 combat strength when fighting units with a higher base combat strength. So against horsemen and swordsmen, it can most definitely hold its own, especially with the first promotion. But the thing about this guy, the Oppidum, you beeline bronze work, you beeline iron working, which is where the Oppidum is unlocked instead of apprenticeship. You build the Oppidum. Once you build the Oppidum, apprenticeship is unlocked for free, and you also get a free workshop. But the thing is, the Man-at-Arms, which upgrades from the Gasatai, comes in at apprenticeship as well. So once you build the Oppidum, you get first you go bronze working, you get some iron, you go iron working, you build the Oppidum, you're going to have like 4 or 5 Gasatai, which are stronger than normal, more expensive than normal warriors, meaning it is cheaper to upgrade them into the Man-at-Arms. So you go ahead, get an actual Man-at-Arms at like turn 50 or something insane like that. You get a battering ram, you go ahead and you go to work, you clap everybody's cheeks, does not matter who is beside you. Nobody is stopping an early Man-at-Arms rush, no matter who they are. And that is pretty much the biggest reason I have them at number 3. Also, the Oppidum does have a range attack and city defense, which is really nice for defense in general. But yeah, that's why I have Gaul at number 3. Number 2, we have Grand Colombia, led by Simon Bolivar. I am going through a domination series with them right now, which you should definitely go check out, by the way. But Grand Colombia is really nice. The Comandante General, incredible. The extra movement speed to all units, incredible. Promoting a unit, insane. Comandante General is getting a unique ability and healing your unique unit Lineros once they are popped, absolutely insane. Lineros are very, 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 very good, replacing the cavalry, lower maintenance cost and extra combat strength from every adjacent Linero, and they fully heal when a Comandante General that activates its retire ability is popped. The Hacienda is also an underrated unique tile improvement. I think most of the time why it is underrated is because most of the time you're just going to be working towards domination and not really caring about domestic affairs, so you're just going to be building whatever your builders can build on that specific tile. But gold production, housing, and food is all you need with the Hacienda. Again, a massive domination civ. You go for an early rush, you get a great general, you get like a catapult or two, you get a horseman. You're going to be looking at 4 movement speed catapults, 6 movement speed horsemen, destroy your early neighbor, destroy everybody else with laneros, and then you just honestly just go to town. These guys are absolutely disgusting. The Comandante General and the Great General in particular, along with your laneros, adjacent laneros, means they can absolutely destroy the enemy, and if any laneros get low on health, boom. Pop the retire ability, they heal fully, no questions asked. Gran Colombia in general is the best domination civ in my opinion, and one of the best civs, well, second best domination civs, and the second best civ in general. Number 1, finally, we are looking at Hammurabi. It couldn't have been anybody else. Hammurabi, oh my god. Ignore everything else. We're going to be looking at his ability Enuma, Anu, and Leal. Eurekas provide all the science for technologies, although you do make 50% less science per turn. Now, the thing that is so good about this, you don't go for a science victory as Hammurabi. No way. No way in hell. You go for a domination victory. You beeline bombards and like musketmen or corsairs or whatever unit you want. In the classical era, at the latest, you go to town, maybe even get a great general or two. Well, no, not really. Because you're not going to be able to get those great generals, because you're only going to be able to get ancient and classical era great generals, classical and medieval era great generals, before you can even get these bombards and these musketmen, for example. And now with bombards and musketmen, when everybody else has at most crossbowmen maybe, you are going to absolutely destroy them. Oh my god, and don't even get me started. You will easily be able to get flight and therefore biplanes and even potentially bombers, as you guys told me in the last videos, by the medieval or Renaissance era, which is just unstoppable at that point. This guy can just go ahead and snipe techs from like the future eras. You don't even need the previous tech to unlock it with his unique ability, and you could go to town with whatever sort of combination of domination you so choose. Ninu Elucirum is pretty nice, getting you a lowest production cost building when constructing a specialty district for the first time, as well as receiving an envoy when you construct any other district for the first time. The unique unit really isn't anything too special. It's just sort of an anti-cavalry unit that is a melee unit, essentially, so it's better than the spearman, I suppose. The Palgum is really nice. Every freshwater tile receives +1 food, and it replaces the watermill, but the city must be adjacent to a river. And yeah, Hammurabi's absolutely disgusting. The best civ in the New Frontier Pass. I am surprised they did not get nerfed at all during the April update, but yeah, Babylon and Hammurabi in general is the best civ in Civilization 6. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to slap a like on this video, comment what you guys' opinions are on this list, and in general, which civ is your favorite to play, not so much as the best civ, but at the end of the day, this is a game, and like, I want to know what your favorite civs are in general. Yeah, if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.